This is way better than we thought, as the Pittsburgh Steelers are set to get back one of their star defenders for midseason. My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we'll be breaking down the latest reports and analysis regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers football team. As the Steelers had a quick scare in their last preseason game, they are looking to get some good news for the season. Before we get into the latest report, if you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. We are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, but only 13% of our current viewers are currently subscribed. So if you do click that subscribe button, we will get you the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. But like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers have got some positive news regarding their first round pick in Derrick Harmon. Obviously, Derrick Harmon was a guy that, we picked in the first round coming out of Oregon to fill that gap in the middle of our defense. Obviously, we look at last year's, end of the season. We look at how the season ended, losing in Baltimore. A lot of that came down to the run game, and our defenders really not stepping up, filling their gaps, and stopping that running game. So we did pick up a guy in the first round in Derrick Harmon, who's very versatile. He's a young guy, only 21 years old. But, Coach Tomlin named him a starter at the beginning of training camp, and he was set to have a huge season this season. But unfortunately, in yesterday's game, he did go down with an injury. It was a major scare for a lot of Steelers fans, because he was carted off. He had a towel over his head. He was crying. And, a lot of people were thinking out for the season, ACL, something terrible along those lines. But we stayed positive and we got some positive news. According to reports, Derrick Harmon suffered a medial collateral ligament sprain, or an MCL sprain, in Thursday night's preseason game. This was confirmed by ESPN, confirmed by reporters. So the recovery time frame for an MCL sprain kind of varies. It really depends on the severity of the injury, but it can take generally several months or weeks for a player to get back. Most reporters are saying that Harmon should probably be out for a month, but he will make his return this season. Whether or not that will be mid-season, whether that will be later on in the season, he will be set to make his return. And this is some huge news for the Pittsburgh Steelers because, after last night's games, a lot of people were thinking we might lose this guy for the rest of the season. It might be just a repeat of last year's draft, how Troy Fontanu went down with a knee injury early in the year. But fortunately for the Steelers, we will be getting Harmon back. We will be getting that stud back on our defense. And, our hopes are high, and I'm really happy with the performance of the Pittsburgh Steelers in last night's game. Although there was some issues with tackling, some issues that did arise earlier on in the game, Coach Tomlin brought the dudes into the locker room, said, you got to cut it out, got to stop with the penalties, got to start wrapping up. And, obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers did end up showing out in that second half. Guys like Y.A. Black, who we see here, he had a monster game, had 2 sacks, has looked great all throughout preseason. He will be a guy that will obviously probably step up into that starting role alongside guys like Keanu Benton, Cam Heyward, and some of those other guys we have in the rotation at defensive tackle. I'm excited for a guy in Y.A. Black. He's sort of a nose tackle, but also a hybrid kind of pass rusher guy. He's a massive dude. He's like 6'6", 6'7", probably around 300 pounds. But he's a great defensive tackle. Like I said, he's very versatile. He stays upright in the gap. He's very, very mobile for a bigger dude. He's able to get to the quarterback. He's able to, fill up the gap, stop the running game. So, although Derrick Harmon will be missed, he will have to miss a few weeks. We will have a guy in Y.A. Black who can step in, fill the gap, fill the hole, and take advantage of the opportunity while Derrick Harmon is sidelined. But it's very exciting that we still do have these 2 guys on the roster. Both these guys played great throughout the preseason, and both guys should have a massive role in this upcoming season as the Steelers look to solidify their defense. We did add a lot of pieces this offseason. Added tackling, smart all-pro Super Bowl winning cornerback in Jaylen Ramsey, who I'm very excited to see how he does this season. In last night's game, he had a play or two where he wrapped up, He tackled the running back. He tackled the wide receiver. And that was something that us Pittsburgh Steelers fans have not seen in a while. If we go back a few years ago, guys like Dante Jackson, Pat Pete, Joe Hayden, just to name a few of those guys, they were great cover cornerbacks, very high IQ players. But they were more coverage guys. They were smaller guys. And, sometimes they did look kind of afraid to tackle. So getting a guy like Jalen Ramsey, who's not afraid to throw his face in the guy, not afraid to wrap up, make a play, maybe talk some smack. It's very exciting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We also have some guys like Peyton Wilson, who's going to take a huge step in that year 2. Patrick Queen, the captain of our defense, obviously getting back TJ Watt on that long-term deal, the best defensive player in the league, undebatably. Cameron Heyward, obviously our savvy vet in the middle of our defense, obviously going to have another great season as he ages like fine wine. A lot of things to be excited for. Deshaun Elliott at that strong safety position. Juan Thornhill, Chuck Clark, some guys that are going to rotate in and out on safety. Darius Slay, another savvy Super Bowl winning veteran who we did add this offseason. The young buck in JPJ, Joey Porter Jr., who's only going to grow and get better this offseason. Corey Trice, another hidden gem on our defense who's probably going to see some playing time on the field. Brandon Echols, we got a lot of guys on the defense that are going to make some great plays this season. And although Derrick Harmon did go down, I do think there's a lot to be excited for as we go into this next season. But, although Derrick Harmon will be kind of on the sidelines for the majority of the beginning of the season, it gives him some time to really see the game in a different perspective, kind of learn from guys like Cam Heyward, learn from guys like TJ Watt, learn from obviously head coach Mike Tomlin, defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, but from a different point of view. Him and Will Howard, unfortunately, are going to have to watch from the sidelines, analyze the game in a different viewpoint. But I think this is going to be very beneficial for Derrick Harmon. Obviously, build some motivation, build some hunger. So when he does get on the field, this dude's going to show no mercy. He's going to be ready to go, and he's going to be hungry to get in there. Going to have some fresh legs for the playoffs because obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers are set to go on a big run this season with the acquisition of guys like Aaron Rodgers on offense, DK Metcalf, getting the young rookie running back and Caleb Johnson, Jaylen Warren. We got a lot of things to look forward to. And although our first-round pick will be hurt in the beginning of the season, doesn't mean he's going to be hurt all year. Should be back by midseason, if not midseason, later on in the season, and should be a superstar on this defense for years to come. He looks like a mini Cam Heyward already in preseason, and I'm very excited to see how him and Y.A. Black do develop in those trenches. Unfortunately, that is all I have for you guys tonight on Steelers Digest. If you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. Here we go, Steelers.